And we're back to the acid wheel. So maybe I should specify that I have the laborers carry the wood into the antechamber before they wrap it up, and then they wrap it up. So if they die, we have to carry it thus far.
Okay.
So
that's
as they're
efficient.
As they're going in, Nico's gonna kind of look around like something's just not right. He's kind of feeling. And he's gonna say, "Look, Edwin, I really don't think we should be touching those orbs anymore. I don't think it's worth losing the workers to potentially keep it a little safe. Plus, we don't know, we know what happened with the ones in the hallway. These might be a little different. It might affect."
Okay. Well, two things. First, I'm doing this for the workers' protection. I don't want to mess with them, but if one of them bumps the orb, they could all die. Second, according to the translations that I made from the ruins, the correct way to release the Gildan from the block of ice is to grab the orbs and throw them into the ice. If you weren't supposed to manipulate the orbs, that wouldn't be the case. So I think it's safe to wrap them up. I think it's definitely safer than trying to use the orbs on the ice.
So, when we were talking last session, we were saying that the gas was a way, not necessarily as you were using the correct way. It's
my question was specifically what's the correct way, the intended way to do it.
I think, and then we were thinking of something and I gave the idea.
Right, but I assumed that your idea was then taken to be the intended way.
Maybe it's only a specific orbs and it's hard to differentiate which is which.
Okay.
Why am I full screen? It's actually full screen.
Right, there's no instructions on how to manipulate the orbs. So this is my best guess situation.
It doesn't feel right. I don't think we should be touching them.
How far are the orbs off?
Let me have Kirill take a look. He knows something.
Sure, anything you can do to ensure the safety of the workers.
Sure.
So I'll bring Kirill in and show him what we've found so far.
Okay.
Maybe I'll grab the notes, Ivan's notes,
That's
and
fine.
have him leaf through them as well.
Okay. What are you trying to get Kirill to look at?
Basically, I just want his opinion, since he seems to know sort of about these artifacts and ways that they're stored. I just want to get his feeling on how he would proceed.
Right. I think when we had that conversation last session, he made some sort of mention of saying something was weird. I'm trying to go off of memory here, but so if someone remembers me saying something like that, or
I don't remember anything specifically, unfortunately.
Well, no, I don't think it was specific. It would have been something hinted at.
I don't recall him saying anything at all.
Yeah, he did say something about it sounding more less like a containment and more like a way to keep people away from it. I think, if memory serves, I might be wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't give me any hints.
Okay, but it's somehow been shown that he's sort of aware of these types of things.
Yeah.
On some level.
He looked at it. I don't know what he knows.
He hasn't looked at it yet.
Yeah, he hasn't been in the cave
he
yet. But when we were
hasn't, really?
talking about it in Scav,
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's when
like,
we were talking about it in
yeah.
Scav. Yeah, before he had even seen it. Yeah, I wasn't there for that conversation.
Right, but you were listening to it.
Yeah.
I don't remember anything. So I think in that case, because now it occurs to us that he hasn't seen it, which our characters probably told me.
All
No.
I remember is that he said not to touch anything until he had a chance to look at it.
yeah, I wanted to get back before you guys started doing stuff, so I know that was a thing. It was like,
Right, because I remember somehow saying, like, as Kirill saying to, like, Nico, like, this does sound precarious on some level, but it seems like you have a wrong idea than the whole idea I was coming up with.
So what's he
But it
wants to
was
share
all-
an idea?
Hmm?
Does he want to share his idea? I'm all ears.
Well, he hasn't seen anything yet,
Okay, well,
Yeah.
so
I'm like,
yeah, let's get him in there.
I
we
was
should
saying that. Right, and so, okay, so Kirill and Nico go into the main area then,
let me
and then I was
explain.
just trying to figure out, like, what.
I was under the assumption that Nico brought Carol to see me because I was in the caves for so long, and I hadn't left. Did that not happen?
So I hadn't gotten around to actually getting him in there yet.
All right, so I haven't
don't know
even
when it
seen this
actually-
guy yet. Fair enough. All right,
No,
No.
you met him last night. Because
because I didn't
we
leave
came
the
the night
rooms.
Oh, okay.
I haven't met this guy yet. Good to know. All right, let's continue.
Okay, so I guess, do we want to, like, rearrange things then? Like, the whole, like, this might be happening before all the firewood is being brought, or...
They're bringing the wood into the
Um,
antechamber.
No, let's keep going with it and just say that Kirill does not like to get up early, and it just took me a while to get him in there.
Okay, sure.
Sure, I can have that be something for Carol.
That's why I didn't see him at breakfast.
A late sleeper.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah,
Yeah.
he follows you in and everything.
Okay, like, we I point to the cave-in that happened, and we lost our first first workers here. More to bad attention than actually the cave-in itself. And then, like,
I look
show
up.
him the orbs in the walls.
Awkwardly
And,
shuffle.
He just sort of
you know,
nods.
explain what happened when we get to, like, the sacrificial room. Explain what happened to Ernest, and that he was down for 3 months after.
Yeah, he kind of looks right. Like, well, this is some, like one of those, like this is getting serious. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, and the entire time I'm kind of, like, impressing on him to, like, don't just watch your step, don't touch anything, look with your eyes, not with your hands.
Yeah.
And yeah, then I'll bring him into the main chamber, and present him the our current quandary.
Oh, yes.
Okay. So, like, I guess as Nico, like, are you just trying to get, like, his overall idea of the space? Are you, like, having to be like, so the specific issue we're having right now is, and then give something more specific, like, what?
Basically, yeah, I'm gonna be like, we know the orbs out there were some kind of defensive measure. There seems to be. Well, I don't know that yet because he hasn't told me. There's some speculation that these orbs might help us get that thing out. We don't know.
Right.
But
Okay.
trying to get his take on the setup here.
Okay. Right, because also, like, if you guys like all the orbs are actually like in between like this sort of like this weird like maw thing, like with stalactites and stalagmites that somehow look like they're naturally occurring, and then like all these little orbs are like in between these two things. So
How big are these orbs
the-
anyway? Are they like base? Are they like softball size or?
yeah, they're like softball size.
Okay.
Around softball size. But yeah. Okay, so he is just sort of like I am like having short-term memory today or something. I'm sorry. So he you're asking him about like the orbs and like that situation, or
Yeah, and then we'll step inside the ring of the maw, and I'll ask him about the ice.
oh, okay.
Right, you guys weren't talking to me, were you?
No.
Okay, good.
Are you helping him in any way with this, Nico?
I mean, I don't really have any skills that like knowledge base anything really. I already made a symbology roll in this room, so I can't really make another one.
Yeah. I think
Um,
I'm not doing anything to
Well,
sort of-
you're helping. This is something different.
Oh, you're helping his skill roll, you're not using your own.
Yeah. I mean, I could help with maybe observation. That's about all I can.
Oh, you can do that.
Yeah.
You want to help with observation?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll just take a really close look at the orbs and everything else and see if I can
Mm-hmm.
discern anything. While I'm doing that, does the enemy between these orbs and the ones in the hall?
That is probably what you figure out with your observation help.
Okay.
You realize that with the help of you help with Kirill realize that you as a player, it's this weird sort of
Triple
Circle.
layer meta thing.
yeah. Yeah, so he sort of looks around and, you kind of look at some of the orbs and sort of see how everything is structured around, and he kind of looks around at the stalactites and the ice, and he's like, this is sort of conveniently put together, isn't it? And then you guys sort of come to the realization that, like, if something triggers, the whole thing sort of just shuts and encases the whole ice together in a completely sealed room. And also that not all of the orbs look similar. Only about half of them appear to be like the ones you're used to, Nico. And the other half appear to be solid gems.
Shit. You bastard. So I know which ones look like solid gems now, though. Correct?
Yes.
Like
yes.
I can discern the difference. All right.
It's like
can
once you
discern
see
the
it,
difference.
you can not stop seeing it, sort of thing.
All right. Is
Right.
it like every other one, or is it like one side, or?
It's like every other.
Okay. All right. I will eye those with a slavering hunger in my look, and
He
just kind of
kind of
roll my
looks.
shoulders a little bit, and all
Yeah,
right.
he kind of looks at. Yeah, he kind of looks at those. He goes, those would go a long way. And you could start to see the twinkle in his eye as well, seeing these like, this is not something to scoff at.
All right. I think then. How would we disable something like that? Oh, that's the question. I mean, we could. Can I see, like, with that whole thing? Can I see? Yeah, of course. But can I see, like, where this would collapse and close? Like, is there a seam that would show me, like, what's actually going to close?
Oh crap.
Yeah, you kind of see it, but the seam is actually like on the ceiling around all the stalactites. It looks like everything is just sort of gonna enclose together.
Okay. So it's gonna be Vader's meditation chamber in here.
Yes.
Yes.
Are you guys talking about this out loud? Because something occurred to me as a player, and I don't think it's that difficult for Ernest to just have a hunch about.
Kirill and Nico are definitely talking about some stuff about those gems. Like,
okay. It might trigger
once we realize that they're
because
once we realize that they're gems. It's hush hush about the gems. I'm not actually meant.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
But
That's fine. You guys just you and Kirill just share a look, and then you.
Yeah,
just,
there's definitely some like,
Yeah, but when you mentioned like something triggers this whole thing to close, Ernest is like it's obviously going to be when we melt the ice, and he like there's going to be less weight. It's a trigger. It's trapped with something under it. Yeah.
Oh, you're saying it's a pressure plate?
Yeah, only it's what. Wow, that's totally accent. I am for when the pressure comes off. We need some way to block this open. And these are gigantic stone teeth.
Yeah, how tall is this room?
it's about
Inside the maw?
right inside the maw. It's about 11 or 12 feet, something like that.
9 feet of which are covered.
Ernest, I'm gonna need you to go chop down 3 more trees.
I look at you. No, I'm not gonna chop down 3 more trees unless you come with me and you're the one doing most of the chopping. I sharpen the axe.
Am I there to hear that?
I think everyone.
I mean, yeah, if you're in the chamber there.
Yeah, I'm probably just cataloging stuff to see what's worth money. I point out that we have all those pieces of wood that we tried to hold up the ceiling with. Maybe we could use those in some way.
They might just shatter.
We're going to need to brace this with something very substantial.
Or we could just... Do any of y'all have a pickaxe? I go to Ivan, what's his name? Or Ivan?
Yeah.
I ask him if he or his crew have a pickaxe, or the one that they were using to break the ice.
Yeah, fictionally I was going to say I think they were using one to mine the ice at one point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Still around?
Yeah, he's probably like, there was one back at camp.
I'm gonna go find it, and we're gonna break down some of these rocks. And then he strides off to go find it.
Great. Someone's going to start learning masonry. Is stone cutting a skill? Is that a...
Well, I don't want to cut it into a specific shape, I just want to break it.
Stone cutting might be the dwarven version of it, but yeah. There's a mining skill.
Okay. Well, 3 days later. So, yeah, I look for the pickaxe.
Yeah, you could go back to camp and pick up
It's probably just sitting there. No one really paid attention to it.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, I pick it up and bring it back. I'm gone like 1 minute. 5 minutes probably. It's longer away than I thought.
20.
20?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Not within eye distance of each other.
Well, when I return, I just sort of like look around to the group. Alright, if we want to do this right, everyone needs to stand outside of the room so they aren't trapped in and starve. Then we are going to take turns. Is that okay with everyone?
Turns doing what?
With the mining pick.
Are you talking to the laborers? Or are you talking to us?
I'm talking to sort of everyone who is assumed to volunteer, including Nico. I've tried to.
I mean, we're gonna break these stones down. What, into columns?
We're just gonna like chop them off. It's like, yeah, we're just gonna chop them off so that when the jaw closes, there's still like a large opening.
Okay. So you're not bracing it where it is.
I don't want to brace it. I just want to break
it'll
stalactites.
fall.
It's like having missing teeth when you close your mouth. There's a big hole there.
Okay.
That's what I want to do. I don't know if you guys are.
Okay. No, it sounds like a cool idea. I just that was never vocalized to me specifically to be that. Until then, I was not sure what the mining was entailing.
Yeah, so
I'd say actually put a couple of rock piles inside the thing first, like about, an inch above head height, so that way if this thing does fall down, it falls down onto a couple of braces.
Okay.
Sure.
And yes, Nico will definitely help.
It will help. Is Edwin helping? And if so, how are you helping?
Edwin assumes you're not going to suggest that he perform manual labor.
He will not suggest you will perform manual labor. No.
Lord Fancy Pants might break a fucking nail.
Lord Fancy Pants.
Nico might suggest, however. That's true.
Lord Fancy Pants is looking for whatever might be valuable in the cave. You interrupt him for that?
Probably because he knows where they are.
I know of the valuable things in this cave.
So do you tell Edwin to help?
At this point, I'm gonna be a greedy bastard. That might change.
Okay, so Edwin doesn't take any assumption that he should help, and he continues cataloging things in the cave for their value.
Okay. I asked the blacksmith, who's of course used to hitting things repeatedly with a metal tool, to help, and as well as all of the workers.
You asked who?
Kirill isn't a blacksmith. He was at the blacksmith when
he was at the blacksmith. I thought he was a blacksmith. Oh, okay.
He's a traveling merchant.
Oh, okay. I thought he was a blacksmith. I was like, oh, what luck. We have a local blacksmith who's also part of the conspiracy. Well, I'll ask for his help anyways.
Okay. He's receptive to the idea.
Cool.
Yeah, he and I are like, yeah, we can just, once this
I
is
assume
once
that
this
no
is
one has
braced,
the
we're
mining
good.
skill, unless any of the workers are miners as their profession. Okay, yeah, unlikely in jungle.
Yeah, unless they're coal miners.
I assume that's a power stat. Is that right?
Maybe. I was just looking at it and I just closed it. It's 284.
284. Mining is perception.
Ah.
Huh.
Yeah, because seeing around you and making sure you're not doing something that's going to cause a cave-in is much more appropriate than just hacking at the rocks.
Yeah. The skill is more about like
hitting right rather than hitting hard.
Hitting right and making sure the shaft you're mining into doesn't collapse on you and stuff.
Make sure that when you hit the second time, you're hitting into the same hole you made the first hit. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. That's a 4. And I'm being helped, I assume, by everyone except Ned Ordling. Is that correct?
Yeah, unless you tell him.
Yes, I will.
I do not. That is not my role.
I will help with my power. Just, you tell me where to hit.
What's your perception? We might want to switch this. That doesn't
my
make sense.
perception is 4.
That's just metagaming it. So, never mind. Okay. And then how many other people are there? Because there's you, there's three other people, and then there's Kieran, right? Not Kieran.
Kiro.
Kirill.
So 4 others other than Nico, is that right?
Right.
Yeah.
It's a total of 5 health dice.
So what's trying to happen here?
I want to safely disarm this mechanism by removing the actual stalactites.
Well, is that what's holding it up, or is that what's
Well,
I'm not sure
stalagmites.
disarm is the right thing there. It sounds like you want to be able to have a way in, no matter, even if
That's true.
it's triggered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I mean is that even if it is triggered, it isn't actually. It doesn't block the path.
Right.
So I guess disarm.
So-
I didn't mean disable, but more like even if it activates, it's. Yeah, I want to
Have we brought in-
quite literally.
Have we brought in the rocks to make the steps on the ice yet?
I thought, yeah, that we didn't. That was your help.
We did that. Okay. So instead of making steps up to the top of the ice, I would suggest we build some kind of pillar with these rocks to catch the top if it falls, rather than cutting these stalactites out.
Okay.
At just yet. I mean, after we make something that's going to make it so when this thing falls, it doesn't kill us, then we can knock all the teeth out we want.
Can I ask why you're trying to cut out the stalactites? Shouldn't you be, like, cutting at the lips or the actual jaw that's going to close? Instead of trying to cut out the support pillars that are keeping the jaw from closing?
No, the stalactites are like the teeth, so they aren't the jaw. They're when it shuts, the stalactites will be what blocks us off. And so if I remove those, even if the jaw falls, there'll be nothing blocking us off. It's not.
Yeah. It'll be the missing tooth,
like that.
so we can get out through here.
Okay.
Or in.
Or in, exactly.
Yeah.
Question. If they fail, will there be air to breathe in at least?
I don't think it's airtight, is it?
That's why I'm
Well,
asking.
I was actually thinking on that. If these orbs are covered in some type of acid, it would make sense to me that that's the catalyst that fuses these teeth together.
Well, that's another thing. If the jaw closes and the orbs are in between each thing, then the jaws will like crush each orb in between them, and the gems, which might not just be mere gems.
Yeah.
So it will still be dangerous, but it won't be. No one can ever access this again. Dangerous.
Okay.
Probably. So, do we want to build that pillar first out of rocks? I'm not sure if we can build it, make a pile of round rocks, but we might be able to put places.
I guess there's a few things to clarify here. When you were saying help, it sounded like to me what the help is you guys were all taking turns.
Manually.
Hacking.
There's only one pickaxe, I assume.
Yeah. That was the sort of help. But any sort of other pillar thing, which I'm not quite sure what you guys are talking about yet, sounds more like a linked type thing.
Okay.
Towards
Can
an
we get
overall plan, right?
Yeah. Can we get a blank map to draw on?
Sure.
Because I think it would be easier if we
That
could
would probably help,
illustrate
yeah.
what we're trying to do.
Because, a bunch of different broken rocks will not together make a...
Okay. So at the top there was sort of old stuff.
I just got a better idea. So while this ice is melting, the weight will be reducing on the trapdoor that we assume is below it. On the pressure plate, rather. Could we just put a bunch of rocks on top of the ice, and, slowly pile it on so it could equate to similar weight?
Yeah, we could equalize it.
That's possible.
I mean, I can tell you roughly what that ice weighs, maybe, but I don't know if my character knows the math.
I can't exactly look up the density of ice, unfortunately. Actually, I don't know if it's actually that much. Because whether or not we know how much it is, it certainly weighs a certain amount.
Well, cubic foot of water weighs, God, I think
But
7
ice
pounds.
has less density.
Yeah, but we can.
Yeah, 494 grams per centimeter squared. Okay. Anyways, we'll figure that out if we even care. Are you drawing? Yeah, you are drawing. Awesome.
Yeah, sorry. I can't, do this and talk at the same time.
Oh, that's fine. Let's just wait and see how that is.
Goes out.
Okay, I have the number of cubic centimeters that the ice is. It's about 20 million centimeters.
Okay, well, that's just not.
That many grams. That many kilograms. 19 tons of ice.
That's a lot of rock shifting.
That's, I think more than we have rocks.
Something.
Okay. And the blank spaces where the jaw is, and where, like, the exit is?
Yeah, sort of. It's not exact, but just sort of, showing you, where the orbs and the stuff are.
I'm just gonna draw this so it's obvious. Even though that's not actually what it is, but... With that in mind, because this is we spend probably a good hour at least, talking about this as a group, because this is probably one of the most dangerous things we're interacting with. Would it be a better idea to risk, before we do anything else, just removing the gems and the orbs from the jaw? Because if that triggers, we are screwed because they'll probably just poison us to death. You guys agree?
Do you guys make sure that you're hammering or whatever from the outside of the jaw?
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, if we're gonna be hammering on the stalactites, definitely.
Would be staying as far as possible. You can only stand in this position because if you stand in this position, no matter what, you can't get hit by the jaw, assuming that it closes right where the thing is, because you will, your hand or limb or anything will not be between the stalactites, which is the worst place for it to be. I just thought of another idea, but that's if we go with the jaw thing. Another option is to chop off the tips of the stalagmites in order so that the points won't reach up to the orbs or gems and break them, which means it will then be safer to take the orbs and gems entirely, so there's no risk at all. It's sort of, another part of a linked test.
The top are touching the orbs already.
Oh,
yeah, it's kind of like someone just drew.
Yeah, this.
Yeah,
it's like that.
that's how I assumed. That's why I said I wanted to wrap them up.
I thought the teeth were sort of, it was the opposite. Okay.
No, if I could have just removed them, I would have.
Oh, we lost Sith.
Hello? You're back.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
You're back. I thought it was the other way, where,
Yeah, how much
You
did
thought
that...
the teeth were offset more?
Let me just draw it, yeah. I thought it was like this, and then in between the teeth there,
Oh.
orbs, and they would get crushed when they closed.
Oh yeah, it was this side.
Okay, cool.
That's why I was so confused when you kept saying you wanted to mine the stalactite. That seemed like a death wish.
Yeah, that's totally not an option. Never mind. Nope. So the teeth themselves won't close to make a door. It'll stay like this, but then
It's like this, but then at some point everything will like
shift slightly down. And then,
tweak, tweak, and then at that point, gravity.
okay.
So you're
they
Yeah,
actually
like-
offset just enough to slide down each other.
Possibly.
You know.
Yeah, but yeah, there's this sort of like it's like I don't know, like when you see something that's like perfectly balanced, and you're like, why is this working right now? And like, if anything is entered into this equation, this is probably not going to still be here.
Yeah.
type thing. Like if you see like those big like national park rocks or whatever, like in the Western America, right? Like
Exactly.
why is this not fallen in millions of years?
Yeah, okay. I
right.
see what you mean. Though in this case it's attached to the ceiling, I assume.
Yes, they are. Yeah, they are attached to the ceiling, but it is one of those like
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. So
This is so dangerous. I'm hesitant to do anything.
yeah, my idea would be to like. I don't know how tall we all are. Let's say we're all under 6 foot, just for the sake of argument. Would be to make like a 6-foot pillar of something. Like right here. Just so it catches the top. No, not on the ice, actually. I'm sorry.
I would suggest
Like here.
we deliberately.
So it catches the top when it drops down.
I would suggest we
Okay.
deliberately trigger and mine our way in.
Okay. I see what's going on, and I'm going to delete that. I had a totally
Actually, no,
different picture from what I thought.
We should put it on top of the ice because the ice is 10 foot tall. So obviously there's enough space on the inside.
Yeah, I had a totally different idea. This is totally different than what I thought it was. So,
That's a good point. The mouth can only close as much as the ice cube allows.
if the stalagmites are only that large, is it obvious that if these drop down, it'll block off everything? If there are only that many and they're only that large, are there a lot more stalactites than stalagmites?
I think that's the intent of the thing. I mean, it might not be a perfect representation in picture, but
Yeah.
I think the intent of this thing is to just close up, like I said, like Vader's meditation chamber. It'll just block up.
It will close up.
This isn't exact visual representation, but yeah, like you guys get the sense that like the whole point of the trap was that if something triggers, this thing is like put into a lead box of sorts, like so that nothing could happen to it.
Now, has Ed Wayne told us all about like what he read and what he figured out in this thing last session? Do we know this yet?
He just mentioned about the orbs thing now.
Okay.
I
So
assume
we don't
that
know.
most of that you guys knew about because I was talking to it with Ivan.
Okay,
But-
so we know all
Because
about
he
like
was helping me.
what this thing is and
He was helping you, but I was chopping wood and Nico wasn't here.
Okay, that's true. Alright. Is there anything you would ask?
well, I mean, if Nico knew that you had more information, yeah, he'd want everything you learned about this.
Like, okay,
I
so
want-
I
It
guess
just makes
I
it
think
easier
that-
for me as a player, for my character to know as much as I do.
I guess
I think
Ed Wayne
this
is like moving around and looking
Okay.
at the value of everything, and he starts looking at the orbs because he's wondering
Yeah,
what
orbs.
they're worth, and maybe he should try
Oh.
and sell them.
Ernest gets really close to one of the orbs, very, very, very specifically not touching one, He wants to see if the top stalactite is already touching the orb, or if it isn't. Or if it's just, like, very close to touching it.
They're touching.
Touching? Okay, that's bad.
But Edwin just starts looking at the orbs one by one. It's like, what are they worth? That kind of thing. Does Nico do anything?
Not really, no.
Okay.
He's I mean, based on the information he has right now, since he doesn't know much else, Nico's probably, like, trying to figure out... Honestly, he's probably trying to figure out exactly what triggers this thing, and if there's...
I assumed it was
and if he could...
extra play, but yeah, we don't know.
Yeah.
You guys look
And
obviously
if we can
stumped.
find any disarming type switch or something, or if this is just like,
Yeah.
because there's no reason to build this thing, right? Unless
They needed to access it somehow. Otherwise just
unless you intended to
activate
come back to it at one point and just didn't want other people to.
Exactly.
Like,
Otherwise, they wouldn't have built a trap that would activate. They would have just built the thing and then activated the trap, sealed it in. So
Right.
there must be some way to get around this.
Right. But in line with that, right? Like the trap, like doesn't destroy it. It just stops you from doing anything with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Presumably.
But I mean, but it's an unnecessary step. If you didn't want people to eventually come back and do something with it, you'd just seal it off. Period. You wouldn't bother with
the warning
crystal orbs and traps and all that shit. You just
Yeah.
build this thing and then go clink, and it seals itself. And
it's a deadly puzzle that you know how to overcome, but of course, people who.
yeah. So there's got to be some kind of mechanism that makes it so that doesn't happen. So that's probably what Nico has. That's what Nico's line of thinking is.
You guys
Okay.
obviously look stumped.
Probably.
Yeah, we're
We're
pondering,
stumped.
I guess.
Out of character, the thing about the orbs that is not the intended way, is it even suggested by the readings that it was a whole question I asked last time.
Yeah, I remember that.
Do I need
But you
to
haven't
ask
mentioned that
another
yet?
question?
But have you mentioned that to us? Like you just
I
mentioned
want to
it now,
know.
right?
I want to know what my character knows before I say anything.
Okay.
Yeah, I
What?
think.
He wants to make sure his character knows what his character knows about the orbs. Double check, basically.
Yeah, about the orbs being a way to get through the ice.
What we know versus what we're just theorizing about.
Yeah.
Like the supposed pressure plate.
I know that I read on the walls
Yeah.
that you're supposed to take the orbs and throw them with the ice.
But taking the orbs is.
No. Last session, you found out that the
The orbs could
poison
melt the ice.
gas will melt the ice.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that
Need
makes
some
it
way-
a way, not the way. You know,
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Okay.
With how things are now, we need some way to get an orb.
so.
So yeah, I would tell you
No, I don't-
guys, I'll see you guys you guys seem stumped. Have you considered that you are not supposed to avoid the orbs, but use them to melt the ice?
I will refrain from doing that myself, please.
Apparently that is what's written on the wall, though I don't understand how we're supposed to use the orbs.
Nico, given that he had a tingly sensation earlier when we started trying to screw with the orbs, Nico says it's possible that the orbs are meant to melt the ice after this triggers and do something horrible to whoever's trapped inside. Now, who knows what that thing in the ice does? If you melt the ice, it might, who knows, fry whoever's left in there.
We could, from what I've seen, it does not seem like the orbs trigger each other in a chain reaction. So perhaps we can get another orb from a tunnel or something and use that on the ice.
So perhaps Nico and his bow could just shoot one of the orbs that are there, maybe.
That would definitely cause the mouth to collapse, and then we'd have to dig through Lord knows how many feet of stone.
Would that trigger it? Because I don't think an easily shatterable glass orb would be holding up a stalactite rock.
You'd be surprised.
I hold my hand up to Ernest and say, and what here makes a 10-foot tall cube of friggin' ice? Nothing here is that cold. Logic might not enter into it.
So we shoot the orb?
No. Really?
Well, if someone wants to grab another orb from the back and toss it, we could see what happens. I would like to be far away when that happens, just in case.
I nominate...
And then we turn to, like, the hirelings, but you'll be fine.
No, it's perfectly alright. We'll just be out here.
I think I'm more comfortable with my plan of melting the ice. Because the ice must melt for us to get the orb somehow.
That's true.
Can we examine the ice block and see if it's on some kind of scale?
Okay, because ice isn't that transparent, but still it's possible.
I would like to know.
Yeah, is there a seam of some type on the ground?
Right. Yeah. You guys can look for that. There isn't really.
Okay.
I think we can just melt the ice carefully, and we'll all be fine as long as we don't nudge any of these orbs.
Now we have thoroughly explored the walls of all these halls and not found any other entrances, circuit boxes, anything else like that. Correct or no?
No, like little holes full of scorpions we can stick our hands in.
Step on fortune cookie, Dr. Jones.
Right. There's like a few little offshoots or like caved in hallways and corridors and stuff, but these are all sort of the major places.
Okay.
We only had a ring of X-ray vision.
I was just wondering if there was like a control room of some type where you would go in and...
A big green button, deactivate death trap.
Nope.
Yeah, I just keep coming back to bracing the collapsible roof. It's really the only idea I have.
I mean, theoretically, the force that's going to be unleashed has to be less than the force of the human touch. So, if we literally just put a straight beam to the roof of the cave, to the bottom, that should do it.
Well, I mean, if the ceiling's going to come down, that's a lot of stone.
No, but think of it like a bounce, right? So, right now, what's keeping the bounce from tipping is a tiny little glass orb that has less than like a pound of pressure. So all we need to do is make sure that pound of pressure doesn't get put on.
Just push the stalactite up by the same amount. Like literally just hold it up.
Literally just something has to hold it up. And as long as we keep that 1 pound of force from disappearing, the thing won't tip over no matter how many of the glass orbs go down. Now,
because it thinks that the weight is still equal.
Right. Now, if there were some indication that the stalactite and the stalagmites might recess into the floor or ceiling, I'd be a little bit more worried. But there is
But they
no
look
such
natural.
indication. There are no seams. This is natural rock, or at least created to look natural, and there's no way we're going to.
It's not like you pressed it up too high, therefore everything.
Right.
Anyways.
All right. So now Nico has
Nico
to
and
fucking show his
Kino-
hand.
It's like kind of like a.
Hmm?
There was one like on the outside of the ceiling.
Yeah, like
There is a seam on the
Because
ceiling?
you said like no seam or anything. Like
Oh.
Kirill and Nico asked about that, and I was like, well, there's one.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
there's a seam on the ceiling. This entire thing comes down.
That was one of Zen's.
yeah.
Well, let me get this straight.
Now,
Yeah.
The ceiling is completely flat. So there is no teeth keeping us from the block of ice. At the very
Not at this
most, the ceiling will drop to the top of the ice.
well, it's is it flat or is it domed? So it comes down over the ice and seals around it.
I think it's just like the stalactites around it, in place of the dome.
Can you draw like how much space is in between the stalactites?
Well, all we need to do is ask the question if what we see in front of us does
Moves
this
down.
and
falls.
locks tight, does it look like the ceiling's going to hit the ice?
Yes, okay.
Yeah, it does look like the.
Does it look-
It does appear. Well, that's a. Is there like a perception? That's like a perception.
Yeah, I
thing
can
for your,
percept that.
for your players to know,
Yeah,
or
I
your
will
your characters
percept
to
that.
know.
Anybody want to help me percept that?
Let me percept that. I have great perception.
Okay.
what's the
I don't
actual
think that
number?
helps if you're helping.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, you are the main role.
You can help me.
Stat for stat, yeah.
You guys want to
So
help me?
someone roll perception. I will be helping or not. I have a 4 in perception.
I also have 4.
If you, okay, then yeah, we'll help you.
I'm not helping. I'm staying far away.
Okay.
We're just looking at the damn thing.
Only one person is helping.
You have some help, sir.
One person is helping? Okay.
Yeah.
What's the odds?
The ob is 3.
Okay.
Alright.
Cool.
Well, yeah, I believe when you help.
It
counts as-
appears to you that the size of the ice would somehow get in the way of anything coming down from the ceiling
Okay.
before stalactites would completely seal.
Okay.
If
Now,
the ice was
the
to
second
shatter,
part of that.
would they completely seal?
Yeah, I was
I'm
going to
sorry,
say the
what?
second part of that question is the roof heavy enough to shatter the ice when it hits us?
Oh.
Well, there's no way of knowing that.
It's like some sort of wise type thing to me.
Ice
Yeah.
wise.
Yeah.
Engineering.
I'm not worried about
yeah,
that.
engineering.
That's a good thing if it happens. But If the
Unless
ice
it
is
also
gone.
destroys the artifact somehow.
Right.
if the ice
If
is
it-
Yeah, I mean,
gone,
that's
will it be completely sealed in the ice?
I'm sorry, one more time?
If the ice is gone, will the stalactites and stalagmites completely make a seal around the killer?
Yeah, totally.
So it'll probably shatter the ice and then seal it. And then probably also possibly destroy the Curidan. I don't know.
So you're saying that the stalactites and the stalagmites look like they're going to crumble and break?
No.
No, they don't.
No, they're going to slide down the sides of each other and
they're going to block us
interlock.
off.
So the stalactites
They
and
will
the
act as-
stalagmites are not directly on top of each other.
They are right
They
now.
will then shift and then go. They will shift,
Okay.
break the orbs, and then fall interlocking.
Yeah,
Right now,
it'll do.
They will be.
It'll do basically this if you're watching the stalactite drawing I had. It'll
Alright.
Yeah.
Yeah.
shift down.
The
Yeah.
roof will corkscrew down.
Yep.
Can
Basically,
we stop the
Slight.
roof from rotating?
it's only rotating by like a foot or two.
If it was
So,
only
I mean,
rotating
yeah,
by
a couple
foot or
inches.
two,
It just
could
has
not
to not hit
seal
the
it.
point.
It could
If
not
it
seal
does
it.
this, it would slide down each other. And we don't know what these things are made out of. I mean, obviously there's some magic at work here.
Do you guys think that the sort of hold up the stalactite and grab an orb is possible?
I don't think holding up the ceiling with that much rock on it. And this is where Nico will show his hand and say they're not all orbs. They're some of them might be holding it up more than glass would.
Oh, really? Well, maybe
Then we
that's
should
the
just
trick
start
then.
with last ones.
It's just a
Maybe
it's a
that is
trap
correct. If some
for
are
our
gems and some are
greed.
orbs, maybe one is the right answer and one is the wrong answer.
Do you know which one always tells the truth and which one always lies?
Yes, the one down in the hallway. The one down the hallway always lies.
I don't understand that reference.
The stuff out in front was like
Oh, wait.
less of a
you mean the
less of a truth-telling thing. The stuff that was written out.
There are orbs on the
I can't
door.
remember. Did we? All the orbs that we know are orbs looked the same. It's just the gems that looked different, of course, right?
Yeah.
Upon
Yeah.
close inspection, they revealed themselves to be different. Yeah, but the orbs are
The orbs are all
uniform.
appear to be the same acid orbs. Okay.
There are orbs
Yeah,
on
yeah,
the
Nico.
door.
The orbs seem like the same ones you've seen before. It's not like a new, you haven't encountered a new variety of orb.
I think
I'll just
our
put-
answer might lie in the gems.
I put dots on every other orb just to be like, these are the different ones,
Okay.
just so we can.
You just get a permanent marker and start drawing on.
Yeah,
You get a piece of chalk.
piece of charcoal.
Yeah.
Not an orb. No, I got wax, and what I'm doing is like after I write on it, I'm throwing colored ink on them, so it's like an Easter egg.
Um.
I'm going to point out that there are orbs on the door. Theoretically, we could move the door because we opened it without setting off every orb that was in it.
Just some of them, I think. Or do we set up every orb in the door?
The only
You
reason
said, you said, yeah, you did all of them.
All of the orbs in the door have been activated? Okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's still some back in like the hallway in the wall, but I mean,
matters.
removing those would probably be just as dangerous as screwing with the ones
mean,
here.
The way you
Yeah, like,
described the
if-
orb coming out of the door was like a pachinko machine. It didn't shatter until it hit the ground.
That's true.
Right. But all of them shattered on the ground.
Right.
Yeah.
But,
But I think it's not that they're super
they're
delicate.
not super
It's just
delicate
that
by the way it's been
they're not
described.
like. Yeah, it's not like they're made of tin foil. They're.
Right.
It's still like
Yeah.
glass, normal-ish glass that can. So it's not like if we hold
So-
one, it'll probably. Yeah. If we want to test it out, I could go cut down another tree and go make myself a 10-foot pole.
I mean,
I'm not even kidding.
Four
Like the whole
fucking
time I've
days
been
later.
thinking 10-foot pole is so useful in this thing. No wonder everyone buys it.
Well, okay, let's sort of regroup. We've had a couple ideas
let's take a
of things
break.
you guys
yeah.
wanted to try. So, like, before the break, like, you're trying to debate whether or not you can somehow support the stalactites from twisting, or put some sort of pillar so that you can't bring the top of the cave down,
Make a list.
or there was, like, something else you're looking at. Something with the orbs itself.
Getting another orb and putting it there
Right.
from outside the chamber.
Just throwing it, or where were we thinking? Throw an orb at the ice? Maybe?
Yep.
Okay.
Or we could just melt the ice with fire, which still seems the best option to me.
It seems like a thing that we could do. And for gem. So I have my four options. I think there are 4 options.
Yeah, we were writing this at the same time. Okay.
Oh, alright.
fire is a given, but I think we probably want to do the fire last. Has anyone actually inspected the ground, I believe, to check if there was a seam in the ground?
We looked for a seam and there wasn't one.
Didn't see a pressure plate on the ground. Screw it, let's just do the fire. If there isn't a pressure plate and all of our tests succeeded, let's just do the fire.
The ice is not touching anything on the ceiling right now.
Yeah.
There's like a 2.5 foot gap there.
And neither will the fire.
Okay, let's go to break. We have decided what to do, and as seems to be a sessional tradition, we had an hour-long conversation that led to nothing.
Okay, so I'm just going to mark where Nico's standing. There we go.
Are you not helping with the fire?
I will help with moral support and direction.
Wow, Nico, you're really close. I thought you'd be outside.
No. I mean, I
He has
figure
his
that.
eye on a few things.
Yeah.
You're green.
If one of those gems pops out,
All right, we're going to go
one
to
of those
break.
gems pops out, I will be there.
All the gems will be gone by the time we get back.
Whisked away.